is my pimped up Toro lawnmower, and today we'll find out, can I JB Weld my lawnmower diff? But before that, I have to install a new belt since last time I completely cooked it, and I actually never found out how fast it goes. My estimations is like 50-60 kilometers an hour. And the other thing I have to figure out is, can it do wheelies? Followed by JB welding it and see if it can drift. Well, I did a wheelie. As you probably already could see, driving it was quite sketchy. The throttle worked. However, the clutch and the brake didn't work at all. I mean, the clutch worked a little bit. The brakes didn't work at all. Even idling in high gear, I think 5th gear, how many it is, basically meant that I was going 25 kilometers an hour. And that thing is so unstable. Yeah, it's quite unstable. So what I did to get it slowed down, or what I had to do, was basically shift down. I'm not sure how much it liked it. And as you can see here, there is my first wheelie attempt. And there's my second. I didn't really want to attempt it. What happened was I drove and put it in neutral, was rolling. And so it didn't die, I gave it a little bit of throttle and put it in gear, and I completely flipped backwards. And I was like, I'm just gonna drive it slowly to the entrance and see if I can wheelie without flipping. As you can see, my exhaust is completely pointing up. Since it was parked like this, I could see that this one also is broken. So I need a new pulley. The chain also came off. I will try to get it back in the workshop and figure out what I will do. After me flipping the mower yesterday, I took a hard look on this one and considered, does it really make sense to weld the diff and make it even more sketchy? Of course it does. However, there's some other things I have to fix first. The exhaust cracked and it's in a completely different angle. And the pulley technically needs to be replaced. But I mean, I got some JB Weld, so why not put it to the test for those things as well? Something else I would like to add is a wheelie bar. Just, so don't do that again. Other things which would nice be brakes, or maybe a clutch. Then I could actually drive it without dying. That's a plus, right? But before I get that far, let's just fix it and drive it again, and then fix it so I won't die next time I drive it. So let me take off the exhaust and go from there. The head doesn't seem cracked. This is not gonna work. Technically what I could do, just cut it, make a new plate, and then it's nearly as good as new. I have an idea. How does this look? Fine? What about this side? Bam, bam, bam. So what I need to do is, if you look on the inside here, grind it down a little bit, then I will fix it somehow. Otherwise, I would need to wait for new parts. Probably still gonna order something. I want to fix and grind and prepare this one a bit. What I will do is, you see there's the inside edge here where it's folded in a little bit. So I will grind this gently, clean it up a little bit in the surface as well, and then basically put a piece of tape around this edge on the inside and then fill it up from the outside. I'm not sure if it's actually gonna work. Or maybe I should try to 3D print one, but for now, I will try to do this. So this is what I came up with. I put the tape on the side of where the belt usually touches, hoping that it will make a smooth surface over here. Then I will fill it in on the other side, make a small layer all the way around and see if it works. I don't mind grinding it a little bit in the end, but I have the feeling that it's actually never gonna work. But it's an experiment. I don't recommend this at home. With this one, you can see that it's tapered. That is on purpose, so I could get the bolts in. So what I might do is just cut the end off where the hole is and then take it from there. Maybe I should make the flange out of JB Weld. It's probably a bad idea, but I'm up for it. So what I decided to do is try to JB Weld an entire flange for my exhausts. The other one was completely bent, so I couldn't just reuse it and JB Weld the pipe to it. So what I did is, I have a piece of cardboard with the holes. I got those by holding a piece of cardboard to the engine and just cutting it out. On those I have 2 bolts going through. Those are the bolts which are actually gonna be in the engine. And I wrap them with plastic so they won't stick to the JB Weld. And hopefully I can just thread them out when I'm done. In the end, there's some nuts and they act as spacers. So everything is pretty good aligned to each other. I thought of how to actually mount this. So I'm gonna use a bowl like this. It has a magnet on the back. And I'm just gonna put the 2 bolts like this. And it's actually quite sturdily holding everything together. And hopefully it's gonna work like that. If that's gonna work, I'm gonna ruin 2 bolts and a pipe. So could be worse. Prepare, mix, apply, and dry. I prepared the surfaces mostly perfectly, and so next up is mixing it. Don't eat it, guys. No, seriously, don't eat it. This actually looks half bad, if I say so myself. Well, this is how it looks right now. I will let it dry. So this is clearly not gonna be enough. So I'm gonna mix a little bit more. As you can see, I already started working on getting the differential out. There we go. So this is my rear axle. Turn one wheel, the other wheel will turn the other way. And that's the differential built in it. The reason why you have that is, if you go in the corner, the inner wheel has to turn less than the outer wheel. However, if you want to put power down, you don't want to lose any grip. And basically what this does is put all the power to the wheel with the least resistance, meaning that if you lift one wheel, then this wheel will spin and the other wheel won't get any of the power. Basically meaning that you won't accelerate so fast, and drifting is also not an option. Actually, I had it quite often that I would kind of tilt on one side and all the power would disappear because the wheel would be in the air, so it would start spinning quick. And also getting down from it would be sketchy because then you would have it's sketchy anyway, and this is not gonna make it less sketchy. I can't take the wheels off, so I have to do this with the wheels on. Now the point of no return. Let's take out the bolts. I'll actually do like this. So how does this work? You have a gear here. You have two gears like this, 90 degrees to it. And if this turns, then the gear on the other side will turn. So what we will do is actually completely shot this and basically just really fill it up with JB Weld. But before we do that, we have to get all the grease out of it. Even if you weld it with a classic welder, the first step is always to clean it so all the grease is gone. Well, usually I would use something like brake clean, but I basically ran out. I have a tiny bit left, so I'm gonna try something different. Supposedly Silip Bang, some kitchen degreaser works pretty good for this. So I sprayed it a little bit and let it soak for a while and just try to scrape most of it off. I even got a brush for that, so I can just get going. You probably want to spray it and clean it at least 3 times, probably even more. Basically, if you're willing to lick it, then it's clean enough. If you have air pressure, it's a great tool. Check this one out. And right before, I did the same amount of cleaning just without the air pressure. I don't know if you could actually see it. Just to show you how clean it actually is. So this is a not used paper yet. And there's still a little bit of grease, even though it looks basically perfect. I think it's up here where it is. Yeah, we're getting there. I will continue with this for a while longer. It's basically clean. So I'm gonna put new gloves on so I don't re-grease the gears and stuff. And I will do one last thing, which is not fully necessary, but it's just a good thing to do. But if you do, make sure that all the brake clean is dried off or not there anymore, because we're gonna use some fire. And as you probably know, brake clean is very flammable. I'm just gonna burn the rest of the residue off and all the humidity goes away. You can probably see that this side is much better than that side. This side is nearly a little bit wet and all those things. So that's why I'm doing it. So here we go. Let's JB weld our diff. Like the other time, I have to make the mixture first. But before that, let me just guide you through on how I will do it. So there's some surfaces like these ones down here. This one is supposedly all the way up here. So I will put some JB Weld on both sides with my fingers, or I will wear gloves, smeared underneath. It's not going to be possible with this one, but I'm going to do the same here. Smearing this side to this and this side to this, which basically means that every gear will be stuck to the case. And I'm okay with that. It means that I can't get the case out, but so what? And when I'm done with that, I will smear it on every single gear individually before I put it together. Let's get started. Just to illustrate my idea again. This side is completely gray and the gear is completely gray. And now, with a little bit of persuasion, I can just press it all the way against it like this. And just use my finger to make it a little bit nice. Don't need to seal the box necessary. Most likely will happen by accident anyway. Now I will try to really massage it into the gears. Plan is to make a little splash like this. And then put it . We'll re-glove a final time and then tighten everything down. So Right now, I can still turn this even though it's standing, but in a couple of hours, that should not be possible. Since the last clip, a week has gone by, but I didn't have any time to work on the lawnmower since I roughly had to work 100 hours in 5 days. It's a mess, but now I'm back at it again, and the things at JB Welded are hard, so let's have a look at them. Let's start with the thing I have the feeling is most likely to break. The pulley. So, I'm just taking off the tape, actually seeing it for the first time. And I mean, it feels hard, but it's, as you can see, it's also brittle. I will try to trim it a little bit, as you can see, especially if I do like this. It has some very pointy edges. I'm gonna try to trim it a bit. The exhaust. I knew that I would have to do some work on it, but the thing I'm most curious about is I read the bolts and plastic, so let's see if we actually can get them out. I actually think this one has the best chance of working because there's no direct strain on it. It's just heat. The only thing we have to do is put some time in it, make it flat, and make it look a little bit better than whatever this is. And last but not least, this one. After 6 hours of curing, I could jiggle the wheels. I couldn't turn them fully independently, which means that the gears itself didn't spin, but there was a little bit of space in between the gears, and that space is rock solid now as well. I actually think that this part we can't take apart ever again. However, I also think that it will last. The only thing I'm quite certain won't last the test ride is this one. But let's go for it and see how it goes. It can't go worse than breaking, right? Look how fast I actually can machine this. It's like sand or powder or something. So this is how it looks now. It's pretty round. It's not perfect. And look at this bolt. It's loose. What about this side? It's a bit more stuck, but I think we can break it loose. Yeah, both I can turn. That's pretty cool, actually. So the trick with the plastic actually worked quite well. Let's see if I can remember how to assemble this. Chain is on. I just have to tighten the rear axle so the chain is tight and the rear axle is not going anywhere. I will mount the other two things. Last but not least, the exhaust. I cleaned it up a little bit, made it somewhat straight, so it actually should seal. So let's try and see how that goes. Seems surprisingly sturdy. Let me give you a close-up. Heads up, I will clean and put the exhaust back on. So this obviously failed, so I will weld this later properly and make it another version of it. For now, let's just continue with the next part. Next up, I'm gonna focus on the throttle. The throttle actually works really well. However, the position is complete garbage because I can't use the brakes and it makes it awkward to use either one. Now I have a longer wire, so I can actually mount it on the steering wheel. This is the thumb throttle, so it's meant to be with the thumb activated. I'm still considering if I want to have it on the right side or left side. I'm right-handed, so it would make sense on the right side. However, the gear selector is also on the right side. So technically I don't need to select gears and throttle, but I will figure that out. Here we go. Let's see if it fits now. Everything is put back together. As you can see, the throttle is up here now. And if you look at the carburetor, it opens fully and closes fully. And it's quite responsive. It's basically all back together except the brake. You shouldn't be able to push your lawnmower just using the brake. It should lock up. So that's something I will adjust. I added a little plate here, so now the steering wheel feels solid again. And I can unmount this if needed. And for now I just put the old exhaust on. It's the next day and I actually have to hurry a bit. But before I drive, I wanted to adjust the brakes. So I screwed it a little bit in. And this is a brake caliper here. And there's these two which push on the brakes. And those are actually seized. So I have to get them working again. So we'll use a hammer, punch them out, clean them up, and put them back in to see if they work better. Just a couple of love taps. This one was in here and it's completely rusty, so I will clean it up after I get the other one out. Here we go. I'm pretty sure that is the reason why I didn't have any brakes, because they literally didn't move. Now those look like this, fairly clean, no rust at least. Gonna put them over there. Now, those go in and out very easily, so that's perfect. Just to show you where my brake is located, if you look at this gearbox here, then there's a disc, the brake disc, and over here that's the brake pad I just had open. And how I can adjust it is by turning this bolt in and out. And if I turn it further in, I will easily brake. If I put it further out, it takes a little more to brake. So I will adjust the screw a little bit back and forth and then see how my brake feels by pushing the mower forward while holding the brake. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to drive it today. I really tried everything I could. It has spark, I checked that. It has fuel, I checked that. It has air, none of it worked. I even tried start spray without any luck. I saw that the battery was low yesterday, so I had it charged overnight. Today, no different. I tried to swap a different battery, which I know is good. From a racing lawnmower, no difference. And now, when I try to turn the key, I don't know if you could hear that. The solenoid clicks, but there's no starter motor sound. I tried to use the driller to start it that way, without any success. I have to take the engine out, find a new starter motor, put it back in, and then I can finally drive it. That will happen in the next episode. But with that, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episode. Maybe consider subscribing if you want to know the results of the JB Weld. I'm sorry for the terrible disappointment. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Bullshit.